Hi, it's Jamie with JamiesArtsaLaCartes. I've just accepted a 100 card challenge, which means creating 100 cards in 5 days in a business week. So I'm going to spend the next few days showing you how to systematically create 100 cards, which is just like 20 cards a day, and turn them into something worthwhile sharing with others. Alright, we better get to it. Okay, so we've accepted a 100 card challenge. So what does that mean? Whenever I undertake a large project, I like to break it down into chunks or phases. So with trying to accomplish 100 cards in 5 days, basically I'll start with the bases. What you'll need for today's project, for today's phase for our group cards will be, I'm going to show you how I use alcohol inks to create backgrounds. I use both Tim Holtz and the Pinata. I like them both. Sorry, it's well loved, but this actually fills with rubbing alcohol and you can spray it. Blending solution, my blending pad, as well as the white stamper pads, and then I put it on just photo paper. Lots of people use lots of different things. This is what I choose to use. I find it moves well on this particular, not necessarily HP, but just photo paper itself. And then, of course, we'll need glue. And from my other video, where I found this little, in the quilling section, it has a super fine point on it. Helps me to get a thin bead of glue so that it's not oozing everywhere and buckling the paper. Scissors. I use the small ones because of the pointed tip. Helps me to get into corners. This is for general purpose cutting, and this is while I'm cutting something that I probably should use another tool for, so I use these. These are my good and trusty cut wire and everything else in between. We're going to use a Cuttlebug today. Super simple to use, and I'll show you how I incorporate this element into my different cards. Something like this. So what I have embossed thank you and then congratulations. So you can do words, you can do whole sentiments to put on the front of a card, and there's lots of different styles. So what I'm going to do, also backgrounds, forgot that, backgrounds. So depending on the die you choose, you can emboss different backgrounds for your cards. Where I would start first, very first, would be taking my base. I don't typically cut my bases. I can find cards on sale and don't really need to use my time to cut the cards, because I want the envelopes also, so they just sort of go well together just to buy them as a kit. But basically it already has a little groove. Hopefully the camera can pick that up. And basically I would use my score pad only to help. See how I'm lining it up in this corner? This will give me true edges. So just to show you. You'll just fold it, give it a gentle crease. Then I come over here, and I have both this bone folder as well as the one that comes with the kit. Either one will work. I usually only do one pass, 2 passes per side, and then you get a nice crisp edge. Doesn't buckle, so I like that. Both of them work pretty much the same. So basically, again, you just fold it, get your edges pretty much lined up, but to give it that true edge, put it in that corner. I'll use this one this time. Flip it over, push it up into the corner again. And so I'll do 100 of those right out the gate. That'll get me started with my bases. So I showed you these. One tip I want to give you is something you want to make sure that you have true edges, meaning straight, when you are creating these before you glue them to your card. Because see, that one's not exactly straight. Not a big deal. With this pattern paper, what I like to do is I like to come in the middle, sink it, and then cut it. And then what I'll do is I will turn it 180 and do the same thing to give myself straight edges to work with. If you try on this pattern paper, every once in a while it'll snag on you, and will crumple up the end of your paper. So that's how you'll do that. So how I would use my Cuttle Bug, and you can use pretty much any paper you have. Later in this process I'll show you that we actually emboss envelopes for our cards. So you see how that just opens up real easy. Has a handle. And we can use pretty much any kind of paper. This is just scrapbook paper. We have just some regular weight copy paper. I have some cardstock in here. We have lots and lots of choices. So I take a little pack, I take it apart, I see what I want to emboss. But I also, this is origami paper, very, very thin. You'd want to be careful of the die you chose for this. You wouldn't want it to be too intricate because it will tear through. An example of that would be right here. See, this is a like for writing resumes, and I don't know if you can see that, but down in here it kind of went through the paper completely. I'll be able to incorporate that in a card, but I have to have a real specific use. So I wouldn't want to do that every single time. But in addition to the origami paper, once again I have a heavier weight cardstock. I have, this is a linen imprint. Probably can't see that on camera. It has a shimmer on one side, but this will emboss very nicely. But they're a heavier weight. This will be more like your cardstock. And then back to paper packs. I take all the paper packs apart, and then what I'll do is I'll actually remove this little edge, and I keep it because I can use that little edge in other, like if I need a trim piece somewhere, especially something like this. This would be cute as a complimentary pop. But like even this was a full sheet that I cut down, and it's sparkly, so it should emboss very nicely also. Alright, let me get the dies and we'll get to embossing. Alright, here's my folder of embossing folders. I have several. I just pick them up when I see them on sale, or if I have a special project. I tend to favor florals. Move this down a little bit. We're going to use this one today. Here's a big one for a large piece of paper. I've used this one quite a bit, and I'm going to use this one today. I like that look of that one. But you can see they come in poinsettias, all kinds of, you know, the Pac-Man style, frame, more florals. This one says Merry Christmas across the top. This has a butterfly and then a just for you to put to create a card. The Darcy and the Cuddlebugs and the Anna Griffin, those work great. I have some thinlits that I have to do special little things, but like here's a trim, but they can create just a trim for a card. This one says thank you. These are the thinlits. I've got to do special things to be able to use those. But let's work with these today, and let me show you how I emboss paper. How pretty that is. Yeah, those will make very nice backgrounds. So that's the Cuttlebug. Easy to store. You basically just close up the sides and that's it. Give it a dusting every once in a while. You know, it can store your little handle in there, and it just sits on the shelf until you need it again. So this is what 100 cards looks like. I like to put mine in plastic sleeves so that the embellishments don't pull off. You can see no two are alike. This is what 100 cards looks like. Hope I've inspired you to set about making cards for folks that you can share. There's lots of groups out there for nursing homes, for the military, people in convalescence, you know, with this virus thing going on. So hopefully we were challenged, we accepted it, and I think we accomplished our goal. We made 100 cards in a week. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. I'll be bringing you lots of other ideas that I have. I have a list that I have hanging up, so until next time, happy crafting.